The haptic feedback from the new home button. Now you can adjust this and control how little or how much feedback you get when you press on it. When you first initially set up your phone, you're able to choose this. If you want to do it again, all you have to do is open the settings application, tap on general, and then tap on home button. Now you'll be able to feel how much feedback you get from 3, 2, or 1. I like to have it on 3. It gives the most feedback. Once you're done, just hit done, and you've changed the feedback on the home button. This next tip is called magnifier, and it's a pretty cool feature that I actually found really useful today. If we open the settings application, tap on general, and then tap accessibility, we'll select magnifier. Now what this does is magnify what you're looking at. So we'll turn it on, and anytime you want to activate this, all you have to do is triple click on the home button, and it'll bring up your camera. But what this allows you to do is quickly zoom in and see all the detail of what you're looking at. You can use the flash on the back of your phone as well. You can even change things and really get a detailed look at what you're looking at. I used this in a basement and I was trying to look over something with the flash, and having the camera, it allowed me to do so without having to get a ladder. And again, anytime you want to access it, it's a triple click on the home button. The next tip is the reset. So if your phone ever runs slowly, freezes, gets stuck, and you need to reset it without powering it down the regular way, traditionally what you would do is you'd hold the home button and the power button down together, but because the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus don't have physical home buttons, you actually have to press and hold on the power button and the volume down rocker together until the phone actually turns off and then turns back on to reset. The next feature involves the control center and 3D touch. You can now access 3D touch abilities through the bottom applications here. So we'll start from the right. If you want to access the camera, you can use 3D touch and it'll pull up some of the camera shortcuts. If you want to use 3D touch on the calculator, it actually pulls up something called copy last result. So whatever you've typed in last whenever you were using the calculator, if it's still up on the top there, you can access that. So if you're trying to copy numbers down on paper or something, that'll be useful for you. Right here, if we tap and hold on that, you can set timers from 1 minute all the way up to an hour. And then this one here is really cool. It's the flashlight. If you use 3D touch on the flashlight, you can choose the brightness, bright light, medium light, or low light. And this is good because sometimes you don't need as much light and sometimes you need more. So this will help you save some battery by using the low light. And in those situations where you need a lot, you can just turn it to the bright light. Now I'm just going to go over a couple of tips. These are more like iOS 10 tips, but they might be useful for you as well. So if you have photos, for example, we'll open up this photo here. And if we go and tap those 3 lines there, we can actually use some of these edit features. This one here, if you tap the 3 dots, will allow you to select markup. And if we turn markups on, it'll turn off live photos. What this allows you to do is basically draw on your photo. You can use all different colors. There's all different things you can choose to use. You can magnify things. You can pull this open and basically just play around with your photo. Even add text to it, so now you can make your own kind of memes on your own photos. It's kind of cool. When you're done, just tap done. Now you've made your picture, which mine is pretty much a disaster. But anyway, you can do something creative with this and have fun with it rather than using all kinds of third-party apps for this. The next tip is voicemail transcription. Now, if you receive a voicemail, you can actually have it dictated back to you. So we'll open the phone application and we'll go to the voicemail section here. I went ahead and sent myself a voicemail. And if we read it here, you can say it says, "Hey, this is a test message to see how well the dictation works with the voicemail feature." It does a pretty good job. I'm not sure if maybe it didn't pick up the last little bit because of movement, but it should be decent and help you out if you don't have time to actually listen to it and you just want to read it when you have a chance, say you're in a meeting or something like that. This next tip could potentially save your life, and it involves the health application. So if we open that up, at the bottom right, you can see medical ID. Now I haven't set mine up on this phone, but I have it set up on my iPhone 6s here. I'm just going to tap edit. What you would do is set up your medical ID for the first time. But basically you can put in all your information, your name, date of birth, the conditions you may have, medications that you may on to avoid interactions if you do get into an accident, knock on wood. At least emergency workers will know not to give you certain medications that won't react well with your allergies or what you're taking. On the bottom here, there's some more features. One I like is the addition of the add organ donor. So if you're an organ donor, you can say yes, no. This could potentially save somebody else's life in a certain situation. Obviously, no one wants to think of these things, but having this here could save your life or save somebody else's. And it's just good that they have it there. And a lot of emergency workers are being trained to use this and look at this, because you can actually access this from the lock screen. I did a whole video on this. I'll link you in the description so you can check that out and you can set it up for yourself. The next feature involves Siri and its capabilities to now access third-party applications like sending messages through WhatsApp or calling Ubers or Lyft rides. And the way you set this up is in the settings application. You need to access the Siri settings here. From here, what we're going to do is tap on app support, and you can see I have WhatsApp and Uber installed. Now, there are going to be many different third-party applications that'll work with Siri. But for example, if I said send WhatsApp message to Daniel, it would be the exact same way you would use Siri to send messages through iMessage. Tying in with iOS 10 is a totally revamped messaging app. Now, I'm not going to go over it completely, but it all relates to this little section here. So if we tap on that arrow, you can see we have these two fingers and an app store. So we'll tap on the heart with the two fingers, and this section is like your drawing page. You can draw or write. We'll just say hi. You can change the color. We'll just put a line across the bottom, and then you can send it, and that's how it's going to look for the person receiving it if they have iOS 10. If they're tapping on it, they can see it in a large screen, so you can draw artwork if you want, if you're good at it. We'll just exit right now, and we'll take a look at some of the gestures that are involved with it as well. You can see on the right side here, and if we tap on it, you can see what they'll do. So tap with two fingers, it'll give you a kiss, etc. We'll do the tap with two fingers, so we'll just do that. And there's the kiss, and if we want, it'll send. And you can see the kiss. Again, if they tap on it, it'll go into the large screen. I'm just getting it sent so many times to myself here. But there it is. And I guess the angle of your fingers will depend on how it actually sends. And then the App Store here is what I really like. It's the ability to actually download applications like JibJab and whatever developers are putting through for the messaging app. It's really cool, and there's preloaded things like these ones here. You can see thank you if you want to send thank you, hello. You can say this one here, happy birthday. You can see how they look and then send those along. You also have these right here, which are pretty fun if you want to send these little animated GIFs to people. Pokemon's pretty popular now. Let's go ahead and send that one out. And you can see that they can see exactly what you've sent. So it kind of adds to your messaging experience.